Hello and welcome back to Hidden Oaks Homestead. I'm outside, I'm in the woods right outside of our house, and I'm out foraging. And one of the things that I go out for is medicinal plants and edible. In this video we're going to talk about medicinals a little bit more and why I go out to find them. Herbal and homeopathic treatment methods have been around for thousands of years, and that's really what a lot of our modern medicine that we can find over the counter or as prescription medicine has been derived from. So I like to go out and find plants that will help us and aid us in staying healthy as much as possible, and I did that here when we first moved here. Growing up in Germany, I went out into the forest with my grandparents all the time. And I'm fogging up because it's humid out here, so excuse me. But I grew up going out into the forest with my grandparents all the time, and we would go out for berries, for mushrooms, and medicinal plants. So when Chip and I moved back here from the Middle East and we started exploring our land, I did the same thing. Now with modern medicine and everything that we're using today over the counter, a lot of that is based on what we've learned from herbs, herbal medications, and what grows around us. Herbal and homeopathic treatments are what we call alternative medicine now, and it's not as widely used as it used to because we forgot about the fact that food is medicine and that medicinal plants grow all around us. The purpose of herbals and homeopathic treatment methods is you encourage your body to heal itself. It's not something that we necessarily go to as a first place of healing because we are so used to go to the supermarket or to the pharmacy and just purchasing over-the-counter medication. However, even that over-the-counter medication or prescriptions are based in the same concepts as where herbalism is coming from. It's humid. I'm fogging up. I'm gonna have to go without glasses because I keep fogging up. So excuse me because I can't see. So I'm hoping I'm looking at you. Not 100% sure. The aim with herbal medicinals is to stimulate your body to heal itself, and it grows all around us. There are so many medicinal plants that we are now considering weeds that have healing properties. When we first moved back to the US from the Middle East, I started exploring here locally. You can grow an amazing herbal garden, but I like to go out into the wild and find what grows there, and you'd be amazed of all the plants with medicinal properties that just grow out here wild. All you need to do is keep your eyes open and look for it. Medicinal plants and edible plants are all around us, all out here everywhere. When I first started exploring around here, I found a couple of things that looked familiar from my time foraging in Germany, but we grow a lot of different things here in Florida that would not necessarily grow in Germany. Then on the other hand, we have things that grow here that are similar or from the same family, so they have the same healing properties as its relative. Medicinal plants grow all year round. There are some that pop up in the spring, some that pop up in the fall, and I go out all year to collect them. Now, when it comes to collecting from the wild, you want to make sure you do it in a sustainable manner, so don't harvest more than 25% of what's there. Leave the rest there for the pollinators, for the animals, and for the plants to replenish themselves. Like I said, you can grow a beautiful herbal garden depending on your growing zone and what your temperature settings are around where you live. You can grow different things outside or then in a greenhouse setting. I choose to go outside into the wild for most of my medicinals, though I did establish a herbal garden this year as well that I'm planning to expand moving forward. There's a lot that can be done with tinctures, salves, teas, and just supporting your immune system and stimulating some sort of reaction that will help you heal. I thought I'd go through a couple of things that I collect here locally that I've identified as the correct plant and the correct medicinal, and it's really helped me stay healthy. I haven't had to go to the doctor. I swear by herbal medications. My husband is not so much on board yet. He still likes the over-the-counter stuff, which is fine. He can do that. I'll do me, and I'll try to teach you guys about it and take you along on my journey. There's a lot of things that grow here locally, and one of the big things that I ran into my first spring back here in Florida and previously living in Florida was the Mimosa Tree. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's a beautiful tree, and it was first brought to the United States as a decorative shrub, a decorative tree. Now, it's considered invasive because it produces thousands and thousands of seeds and prolifically grows around here. So you'll see them everywhere in the spring with their bright pink blossoms. The blossoms themselves have a citrusy smell and taste to them. The blossoms, the leaves are edible, and the bark and the blossoms are the part that have medicinal properties. And the mimosa tree is also called the happiness tree, and that is because of the properties that it comes with. It's energizing, it's uplifting, it has great properties as an antidepressant, and it's an amazing immune system stimulant as well. I don't know about you, but for us, pines are everywhere. The name of our homestead, Hidden Oaks Homestead, comes from the fact that we sit on a 20-acre lot in the middle of 6,000 acres of pine wood forests that the paper mill owns. Pine needles are an amazing source of vitamin A and vitamin C. You can make tea from it, you can make cough syrup from it, you can give it to your goats as a worm treatment as well. It's a natural decongestant, and there's a reason why a lot of our winter medicines, when it comes to flu and cold season, have a pine smell to it. Pines are amazing plants. You can harvest the needles, you can harvest the pine nuts, you can harvest the pine cones as a fire starter, you can use the bark, you can bleed them and then collect the tar from it. It's an amazing plant, and you should definitely check it out and read a little bit more into it. Another thing we have in abundance out here is turkey tail mushrooms. These mushrooms grow on dead and fallen trees, and we have that everywhere around here. When Hurricane Sally came through in 2020, we dropped a lot of trees. Well, Sally did it for us, and then we dropped a couple after that were dead already. And we still have thousands and thousands of trees out here alive and well. However, the dead ones now produce mushrooms and lichen and other great things that help our health. Turkey tail mushrooms have their name because they look like a turkey tail, multicolored, they're kind of hard, and they have great immune system support properties. They help strengthen muscles. There's been some research done with turkey tail mushrooms that support cancer patients when it comes to the healing process and being able to take chemotherapy. They have some amazing health properties, and I just collected some the other day. I'm tincturing them and I'm making some tea out of it. It's a little bit bitter, So if you're doing it as a tea, you probably want to add some lemon juice and some honey. That's my go-to. That's usually what I do when I'm dealing with a bitter herb. And it is amazing what it does for your body. In 2020, when we first moved here and the world shut down, there was a shortage of medicine for everything everywhere. That just made me even more motivated to go out and find wild medicinals. One of the things that I ran across was usnea, which is a tree lichen that grows in abundance everywhere, but it grows very, very slowly. You can harvest that lichen directly from the tree. However, to be sustainable and to help it grow back, because it grows so slowly, I only collect what falls off the tree after a thunderstorm, after a rainstorm, when it collects on the ground. That's when I collect it. I then cut it up and tincture it. Again, you can make a tea out of it. I have made salve from it, which has healing properties, and it has antibacterial, antiviral functions that are supported in the body with usnea tincture. And this is something that I take when I feel a cold or a flu coming on. When it comes to homeopathic and herbal remedies, the rule of thumb is like for like. So you would typically collect plants and take teas and tinctures and salves from plants that will cause your body to react in a certain way. You basically want to pair your symptoms with the plant that causes the same symptoms, as that will help heal the body. With usnea, Native Americans also used it as a wound healing agent. So I make a salve from it. I get bit by fire ants all the time. It's not even a joke. I'm out in the garden and they're all over me. They just love me. And I either use the usnea salve or the goldenrod salve that I make with locally harvested goldenrod, and it really helps the healing process of my skin. Another plant that I sure you see everywhere all the time, it's prolific, it grows everywhere, is the black-eyed Susan. Lots of people just collect them because they're pretty and they look good in a vase. However, that weed has strong medicinal properties. It's closely related to echinacea, which everybody knows about. It's sold everywhere as immune support against flu and cold symptoms. And the black-eyed Susan is a direct relative from echinacea. The difference between echinacea and the black-eyed Susan is where you can use everything from echinacea, the stem, the root, the leaves, the flower, the pods, everything. With the black-eyed Susan, you can't do that. The seeds are poisonous, so stay away from those. The rest of the plant is usable in the same way echinacea is, and it basically in every ditch, every side of the road, every field, you have them everywhere. And it's easy to just go collect, dry it out, and make some herbal remedies out of it. Black-eyed Susans were used by the Native Americans to treat snake bites, to treat wounds, to treat parasitic worms. So if you have livestock and goats, if you can collect seeds and just sprinkle them around everywhere and have black-eyed Susans grow everywhere, your livestock will eat them. It's a natural dewormer and it will help them stay healthy. I grew up with herbal medicine and homeopathic treatments. In Germany, that is the #1 treatment we go to. We usually don't go to the chemical bombs, as I call them, until there's no other way to go there. So I grew up very comfortable with it. I go out into the forest all the time, and some of the tools that I am using here locally are books and phone apps in regards to identifying the plants to make sure I'm collecting something that's actually going to help support us as a family and me as an individual, not make me worse. The reason I come back to herbs is because I really believe in it. I try to stay away from the chemical compounds that I can purchase at the store as much as possible, and simply use the herbal remedies that I have at home to heal myself and support my body in healing itself. Modern medicine and the over-the-counter medication that you can buy stems from herbs and from medicinals grown out in the wild. However, they typically take the active ingredient, and that's what's sold over the counter. With herbs and homeopathic approaches, it's a more holistic approach because we use the whole plant. So we don't discriminate, so to say. We use the whole plant, and therefore there is not just the active ingredient involved. All the other chemicals and micronutrients that come with that plant is also there to support your body. The danger with herbs and any kind of herbal supplement is that it's not regulated. It does not need FDA approval. You can go out into the wild and find it yourself. When it comes to store-bought herbal remedies and immune boosters, you can get them in the vitamin aisle because they're not considered medicine as per the FDA. So they are just labeled as immune support or dietary supplement, I think is what it says on there. So you can buy them. You don't need a license for it. You don't need a license to practice herbalism technically. However, I do suggest you buying some books and looking into some of the herbal courses that are offered all over the place. If you are not sure on where to start, I suggest you reach out to a local herbalist, maybe do a nature walk with them to really kind of figure out what's what in your neck of the woods, where to find it, how to collect it, and bring it home and try out some stuff from there. I highly recommend having books and apps and making 100% sure that you are collecting the right plant and using it for the right properties. With all that said, I'm going to go out and do some more foraging today. I would love to hear from you about whether you go out into the forest to forage, whether you buy herbs in bulk online, whether you grow them in your garden. How do you use them? What do you do with them? Do you sell it? What do you make out of them? I would love to learn from you. Definitely reach out. Let me know what you're doing. Drop your comments down below. I'm going to leave some links down below for the books that I use as well that really have helped me getting more familiar with this area and what grows in the Southeast United States. And I hope to see you in the next video.